Hello, wonderful people. All right, do you believe your parents are emotionally immature, but you're not sure just yet? Well, we're going to go through a checklist together from this amazing book I read, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay Gibson. And I'll share my personal experience too, so you can have some reference of if your parents were emotionally immature. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because this is a revelation for me, even though in hindsight it seems so obvious, and I didn't know it at the time and how I would say detrimental it can be. Detrimental as in it did have a negative effect on me. Like I've mentioned the way my parents raised me, I had just this awful inner critic, inner voice, which I have healed through the Course in Miracles. However, I do want to help anybody that maybe has even considered it, that where did this awful inner voice come from? It probably came from your parents, right? So I'll also put this in the description. All right. So first one, my parents didn't express much empathy or emotional awareness. So yeah, for me, if you watch my previous videos, I was consistently told, "You're too sensitive. You're too sensitive. You're too sensitive. Why are you feeling this way?" Even to this day, I've told you guys like I had my resting, let's say resting man face, if you know what I mean. Like we're this sunny day in Krakow. Yeah, maybe I could have been smiling, but Mama was like, "Why aren't you smiling?" You know. Oh my gosh. Yeah, even when I would go to as an assistant videographer for, I would be quite sad because it's I don't know, it's overstimulating weddings and all this stuff. And she's like, "Smile, people think I'm torturing you," instead of be like, "Hey, what's wrong, buddy? Hey, what's going on?" That was never brought up. It was like I also have this memory with my dad. If I tell stories again, I'm gonna tell stories again. Yeah, but uh, like I had to drive my dad somewhere, and I was like visibly upset. Not like I was kind of quiet because I didn't want to do this. And he's like, "What's wrong, Kahir?" I'm like, "Oh, to be honest, Tata, I don't want to drive you." And it's like, you are ungrateful." It's be like, you know what I mean? Like maybe yeah. I don't know. I'm still dealing with it. It's just like any expression of negative emotion was shamed and put down every single time, every single time. When I learned that parents are supposed to teach you how to regulate your emotions, soothe your emotions, say, "Hey, it's okay, let's go to baseline." I'm like, really? I hope I don't know anybody like that, but I mean that should be the standard. I think, right? Be like, "Hey, it's okay." Like, because what happened to me, because I wasn't able to express my emotions, I didn't listen to my emotions. I always felt like I had to put on this mask, be this fake and authentic person. Yeah, so definitely didn't express much empathy or emotional awareness. Like I just shared in the previous video, like, "You're not good with girls." Like when the girl told me, "You smell," I didn't feel, one, safe to talk to my parents about it, and two, like ashamed about it. Like, "You're not good with girls." Like that fucking sucks, man. That fucking sucks. I don't care if you think, "Oh, that builds character." No way, man. All right. When it came to emotional closeness and feelings, my parents seemed uncomfortable and didn't go there. Yes, yes. Don't remember ever talking about like deep feelings or if my feelings ever really mattered to them. Like, suck it up. Like, you're too sensitive. And I remember I would like if I argued with my brother Zadkiel or something, Mama would be like, and I would cry because like she would like shame me for doing that. She's like, "Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop feeling sorry for yourself." I'm like, "What? What does that mean? Sorry for yourself? I don't understand." Like that detrimental stuff emotionally. I'm sure they just didn't have awareness of it. Also, like emotional closeness and feelings. Like this is the crazy thing. I have to tell this story. So both Zadkiel and I are vegan. And we got invited by this rich family of Tatas. Like he worked on a project for him, and it's like, "Oh, let's go to a steakhouse." And they're like, Nie rób sen. Don't make a scene. You're going to go to this steakhouse and you're going to like it. And then guess what? The family, they're like, "Oh, you're vegan? Oh, if you told us, we would have went somewhere else." Right? Like it was always like mama would say, "This is a caprice. It's a phase. It's a caprice." We were vegan for I think 5 or 6 years already. It's like that's part of it also, but that they just didn't even care about that. But also, Tata made fun of us. He's like, "Oh, they live in Poland, but as soon as they open their mouths, you can tell they're not Polish." And like every phone call, I told the Tata about my identity, how I'm struggling. And on the way there, we're like, "Hey, Tata, that really hurt us that you said we're not Polish." He's like, "Oh yeah, emotions hurt." I'm like, "No, no," and it's a defense mechanism. They tried changing the subject, like, "Oh, like I had to like we had to." It was like, what's it called, skinning teeth or whatever, to say, "Hey, like I'm sorry, like I hurt you." Like it took forever. Like they have no compassion. No compassion about what we had to fucking go through for our identity. It was I can't explain it unless you're first generation how emotionally painful it is to feel you're Polish and not being accepted Polish. I don't give a fuck if you don't understand that. If you think it's stupid, the pain was real. It was an immense pain, an immense pain. It was super painful, and to hear like your own father making a joke about it, it fucking sucks. And they don't want to even talk about it, man. All right. Yeah. So yeah, emotional closeness feelings, uncomfortable, didn't go there. Right. My parent was often irritated by individual differences or different points of view. Like I said, yeah. So this whole vegan thing was a total upset. You know, that like we thought they were crazy, that we are crazy, even though they are super unhealthy. Like, especially like in America, the food is fucking poison. Let's be honest. All this chemicals, all this processed junk, you know. And they thought like, oh, we're gonna kill ourselves. And when they were already obese, like as soon as we left to Poland, they both got severely, you know, like it was very unhealthy. And then like to tell them to like, hey, stop going vegan, you're gonna kill yourselves like with your health. I'm like, really? I feel like I'm in crazy town. What are we talking about, man? Also, like with spirituality, you know, um, like we are forced to go to Catholic school to do all this Catholic bullshit to be like what do you call first communion because it's like the Polish thing. But they didn't go to fucking church or anything like that. And then when I started, because when I like my spiritual needs were not being met, because I can't be an atheist. I just can't. It's like too scary. Plus, it also like with denies science now with the quantum entanglement or a zero energy point field, whatever source field. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're an atheist, whatever, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But I couldn't do that. So my spiritual needs weren't being met for the Catholic Church because it's about like sin and guilt and all that stuff. And I was looking for different avenues, and then Abraham Hicks came into my experience, and it felt good to be like you're unconditionally loved no matter what. Also, this law of attraction stuff, and it's like, well, it's it's like it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I also remember like reading The Secret and all this stuff, and I remember like listening to audiobook and on the way home, like or on the way to school, I was like smiling and because I was like in alignment, higher being, like oh yeah, all things are possible, and like Mama said like, and she started like laughing, like, "Why are you so happy? Why are you so happy?" I'm like, yeah. Also, I mentioned the story like when my fucking dog died, you know, Chewy. It's a real name, all right, Chewy. Chewy fucking died. And I like the day after or something, I was like, I wanted to go to a Course in Miracles workshop. I've never been. I was like, oh, and I was like, can I call him? Like, just I don't know why I asked for permission. That's the thing. I was, conditioned to always ask for permission, whatever. I'm like, can I call him and say I'm coming? And they're like, and my mom fucking slams her phone down, and she's like, co to jest kurwa sekta? No, is it a cult? I'm like, excuse me? And I'm like, Mama, my dog died. It's like, mine too. Like, like, I was looking for solace in other people. I thought like going to a Course in Miracles seminar would probably help me, man. It fucking sucks, man. I'm so angry still. This is. I need to express this anger. Don't worry, guys. I'm still going to healthy gamer therapy and everything. I'm just saying, yeah. Does that sound like irritated by individual differences or different points of view? Hell yeah, hell yeah. Or like I mentioned when I said, I told them like I didn't like the summer camps that they forced us to go. Like, well, when you have kids and they're couch potatoes, then we'll fucking see. You know, it was never like a respectful discourse, man. Never. Okay. Next, when I was growing up, my parent used me as a confidant, but wasn't a confidant for me. Kind of. I have to tell this story. I have to. Okay. Um, so, so I told you Zadkiel is gay, and you know, growing up in the mid 2000s or well, no, early 2000s, but you know, he came out like in like I don't know 2010, 2011, and so they, you know, being Polish, they really didn't like that. You know, especially our family or like the older generation's quite like you know religious. Um, you know, they didn't take it to heart. And I remember the day after Zadkiel came out, and Tata was driving me somewhere, I don't remember. And he's like, well, you know, if he likes balls clapping against his ass, then I guess it's okay. You know, he was like processing his emotions right in front of me. Like, oh, if you like those balls. Oh, that's so nasty, man. And I was locked in the car. I was locked in the car. I had to hear that shit, man. Um, Even earlier, I remember we went to this uh, went to this doctor's or something in downtown Chicago, and I don't remember what exactly happened. Like Zadkiel was about like 14. This is before he came out, and I don't. Maybe it was for our acne, and it's like, yeah, yeah, and the doctor is like, oh, once this acne look clear, you'll get a nice girlfriend. And then Zadkiel got upset. He's like, I'm gay, so I don't care. And I remember then I saw like Mama was really upset in the kitchen. I was like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, well, "Why did he say that? Why did he say that? It's like he said he masturbated this morning. Why did he say that?" I was like, "Oh, this vile shit, man. This vile sexual stuff. I don't like it, man. Disgusting. Ugh, ugh." I know, non-judgment, non-judgment. But I have to share this story, right? So it wasn't like a constant thing, but I don't remember them ever, you know, especially when we you know, moved to Poland. There's no emotional support. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're disappointing me. So, you know, I could never confine them about anything, which sucks, man. That fucking sucks, what I'm going to say. My parent often said and did things without thinking about people's feelings. Certainly not about my feelings. I don't know about because this is also a thing I don't know. I don't remember them being like really mean to other people about you know to us. It's like yo po, wyglądacie jak sieroty, orphans. You look like orphans. So they were okay with hurting our feelings, you know. Well, I don't know if they, or they would say a lot of things out of anger, you know, like like I told you, like Zadkiel was looking for, like Tata said, like Zadkiel, find my phone in the car, and he couldn't find it, and then Tata found it like right away. He's like, if it was a candy bar, you'd find it, you know, like just verbal put downs, right? So I don't think he ever thought like you know that shit affects us, man. No. But if it was to other people, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Okay, next. I didn't get much attention or sympathy from my parent, except maybe when I was really sick. Yes. Yes. Um, I mean, this is the thing. I don't want to villainize them. I did get like this is the thing. Like, of course, you know, there were some hugs and all this attention. Like, you know, I just you know my mind is wired to remember more the negative. But yeah, I remember just being taken care of more when I was sick. You know, like it was okay to rest. It was okay to you know drink tea and stuff like that. So I remember actually liking to be sick. I think that's all I could say about that. My parent was inconsistent, sometimes wise, sometimes unreasonable. 110%. Although I think it was like it was their way or the highway. They could never like negotiate. Like it was like this is what I want. You're gonna do it. It was never like oh can we work around my schedule or something. It was always like no, it's my way or the highway. Um, and sometimes wise, sometimes unreasonable. I'm sure there was some wisdom. I can't remember right now. I would say inconsistent. Like you know, sometimes I'd get love, sometimes I'd get vitriol. that kind of consistency. All right. Next. If I became upset, my parent either said something superficial and unhelpful or got angry and sarcastic. Yeah. um, like yeah, all the time. Like I said, like with my identity, it was like dealing with my Polish identity. It's like, oh, you'll get over it. Don't worry, it'll pass. Um, or like when I did get angry, they'll just get angry, even more angry back. You know, especially as I'm running out of examples here. I'm just speaking out of what's being inspired, but um, yeah, well, definitely. Like if I did get angry, if I showed any negative emotion, like I said, they'll just get angry like 10 times back. So, you know, and sarcastic. Yeah, there's a lot of sarcasm, especially from Tata. I can't think of any like example right now. Well, please believe me. Only thing that I don't know if it's sarcastic, but like, it's like we thought they kept like berating us, like, you guys want to come back to the States? I'm like, why? Why? Like what is there? I'm like, and it's like I have nothing there. I don't have any friends. He's like, well, I think you don't have anything in Poland, which probably is true, but I was fucking like 24 at the fucking time. Like Jesus Christ, what am I supposed to have, like a house and a mortgage already? Maybe if you know what? Let's not get there. Let's not get there. But certainly not supportive. That's what I'm saying. This is like, I wish I'd be like, hey, you're going through something challenging. If you want to come back, go right ahead. If you want to stay, everything's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like this positive, empowering voice instead of constant disempowering voices, man. Okay. Conversations mostly centered on my parents' interests. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I remember. Um, Usually, when I talk to Tata, he always talks about himself. Very rarely asks me. I mean, of course, he asks me, but it's like 90% he's talking and I'm listening. So okay. Uh, yep. Next. Even polite disagreement could make my parents very defensive. Yes, like I mentioned, like, hey, I didn't like this summer camp. Well, you couch potato kid, Um, yeah, so I got that. Yeah, very defensive. Um, it was deflating to tell my parents about my success because it didn't seem to matter. Yeah, like I remember, like especially with weight, it's so weird because I told you how I was judged about being too big, even like worried about I'd be too small. I was never underweight, never, never, never. I always had a either overweight BMI or just like average BMI, never under. But and um, yeah, but my body, is important to me, and I'd say like, oh, I lost like 7 kilograms, and mom was like, so what? So what? It's like, come on, man, it's your fucking body, it's your health, it's super important, because she has this fear-based belief I'll be like my skinny uncle. Well, he has his own problems, he has his own thing going on, man. Um, yeah, and even like I remember when we did graduate, and then like I remember talking to Tata, and he's like, "Oh, my friends' kids, they finished a real school because they started like, pharmaceuticals or whatever." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like you tell me to go and study, I study, and you tell me it's not fucking real? Because I know it's like teaching English, yeah, but I did it, you know." Oh, it's so deflating, man. It's so deflating. Like, fuck, man. That sucks, man. Okay. Facts and logic were no match for my parents' opinions. Oh, yeah. If like with veganism, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Like, I could bring up all this research and facts. It doesn't even matter. I mean, I know if you're if you're in that sphere, you know how hard it is. But it's like nothing will persuade. Nothing. Um, even, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. But it's just true. um, my parent wasn't self-reflective and rarely looked at his or her role in a problem. Yep. I always like especially like with their weight, never looked like really deeply inside, I think because I'm almost 100% sure there's also emotional trauma that they just haven't dealt with, and they eat their problems or something. Just like how I was eating my problems. I think most of us eat our problems because it's our first comfort thing, you know. But to really dive deep, you know, to go to therapy, work on it, it's hard, man. It's hard. Or looking like how, you know, why as a kid I was getting angry, right? Was me probably, I'm not a psychologist, but reflecting that they were getting angry all the time, and they didn't even think like, maybe the way I'm being angry makes my kid angry. Or also like I swore a lot. Like, what do you think? You know, Tata, like so, my mama has to like there's like swearing like sailors. You know, do you think that has an effect on a kid? Never like really. Also like just lack of responsibility. I remember when I was being the assistant videographer for Mama. We had to drive to different states, Wisconsin, Indiana, and she made a wrong turn. She didn't follow the GPS correctly. I was just reading my book, you know, enjoying the road, and she fucking hits the driving wheel. And she's like, "Kurwa, kurwa, kurwa! Oh, you're reading your book. You should have known." I was like blaming me. You can't take responsibility that you made the wrong turn. You know what I mean? Lucky I was. I remember being in a higher state of being because I was reading like. Also, I think The Secret, but still, like I didn't put two and two together. Like you know, this total lack of responsibility over one's actions. You know, it was always always had to blame somebody. Always had to blame somebody. I told you even as a young kid, you know, when we went to the park district, like you know, I was 10 and Tata asked for directions. Hey, where's the middle school? And we weren't paying attention, and he was getting lost. He's like, I brought you there to fucking listen and to help me. I'm like, what? You didn't say that. This is unfair. I'm 10 years old. I don't even, you know? Man, it stinks. I hope someone resonates with this, man. Last one. My parent tended to be black and white thinker and unreceptive to new ideas. Yeah, yeah. Um, only only thing that can come to my mind right now is I was reading about like atomic habits or something, and I was like, oh, I want to watch less TV, and it said if you want to do something less, you cover it, right? So I covered the TV like with a white tablecloth, and it actually helped because I was like, oh, it's out of sight, out of mind. And then when I told Mama that, she's like, bzdura, bzdura, it's a dumb idea, dumb idea. I'm like, what? Why do you care, man? Why do you care? You know, also like when I was getting into like self-help, which is, you know, I did read a lot of books and then apply it, but whatever. And she's like, you're supposed to read one and then apply it. I'm like, how many self-help books have you read? You know? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. All right, so the crazy thing is, so in the book, it's how many of these statements describe your parent? Since all these items are potential signs of emotional immaturity, checking more than one suggests you very well may have been dealing with an emotionally immature parent. Right? So you can probably tell that my parents are emotionally immature and that, you know, did shape me, you know. However, just a reminder, guys, it it doesn't have to be this like this forever, right? We can change through the Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit is our true therapist, right? It guided me to see that I was abandoning myself, man. So all things are possible with God, even this divine healing of the mind, right? That's what I want for you, healing our minds, but understanding where did it come from? Where did it come from? It's not about blame, right? But for me, it's been liberating to be like, oh, it's not my fault. It's not my fault, right? I was just raised by emotionally immature people, and then I was emotionally immature to myself and towards others, right? And I want the world to be a more peaceful place, a more loving place. It starts with our minds, right? So, you know, if you check more than one, I highly recommend reading this book. Also, then this one by Pete Walker about CPTSD from surviving to thriving, right? Healing is possible, guys. If I can do it, even in the darkest pits of my mind, you know, I've gotten out of it. I've gotten out of it stronger, right? I do believe maybe I did come to this experience with these parents so I could overcome this, you know, mind virus. Like I felt like my parents gave me this heavy weight so I could have develop really strong spiritual muscles. And then I could help you guys too. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, it means a lot. May the Holy Spirit light up your path wherever it takes you. All right, take care.